So, good morning or good night, depending on wherever you are in the world, and welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and today I'm joined by two members from the band SOM, and they're a great band. I've been listening to them for a few years now, and they're about to release their, if I'm not mistaken, their third album, Let the Light In, on March 14th. So I have Will and Mike from the band. How are you guys?
We're good. You got two chill dudes on a couch over here.
Yeah,
How's it?
well, it's like a futon or a couch. It's a couch as well. So, so
Nice.
yeah. So first of all, thank you, for taking some time off your tour because you're currently on tour. I know you played last night Atlanta, right?
Yeah, 2 nights ago. Yeah, we got 2 nights off. So we're posted up here at an Airbnb in Gainesville, Florida.
Oh, awesome. So
Yeah.
yeah, how much of the tour is left?
About a week left.
Okay, so you basically the tour ends on the album when you guys are about to go ahead and release the album.
Yeah,
Yep.
just about. Yeah.
Yeah, so for people that haven't heard of, how do you say the band name? Because I said Psalm or
Yeah,
Right.
that works. Yep.
yeah. So for people that haven't heard it, you guys describe yourself as doom pop.
Yeah. So, Metal Injection, they was it an album review or something?
I think so.
Something. They came up with that, and we were like, "Oh, that's perfect. That like describes us better than we could describe ourselves." So we've been rolling with that.
Yeah, it kind of stuck.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it makes sense because there's doom and there's like shoegazy
Yep.
elements to the music, but also like some of the singing for. So the album, it's 8 tracks. It's a pretty cool album. There's already singles out, but you guys also have done some cool covers. Like I love the cover that you did for "Everything I Wanted" for Billie Eilish. Uh,
Yeah.
Tell me whose idea was it to cover that song?
You want to start her?
No, there.
So our old drummer Duncan had the idea to do it, and we were familiar with her, but like I don't think any of us were like big fans necessarily. But he threw it on at the studio one day, and I was like, "Oh, we could definitely do a cool cover of this song." And then everybody kind of contributed their individual pieces, and it kind of just grew into this thing that we're all super proud of.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
awesome song to begin with.
Yeah,
And
yeah, we're all fans now for sure.
yeah.
Plus, she sounds like she was very sad on that song. It's funny. I thought Billie Eilish was, for some reason, I thought she was British. I don't know why. And I remember like a few months ago in the Olympics when they did the thing that she was representing LA. I think I were like, why is she representing LA? Isn't she British? And people are like, no, she's American. I'm like, I don't know why I thought with the name that she was from British. But yeah, that's a great track, and the cover that you did it. Uh, it's because her vocals are very distinctive, but it really goes well with the style of music that you guys are playing to. So it's a cool cover. So on that respect, is there any other songs like you would cover in the future?
I mean, we've talked about it. We haven't figured out what the next thing to do. Like, what I like to do is do things that aren't necessarily predictable, something that's a little bit surprising, and it's kind of hard to stumble on that stuff. So it just takes time to kind of work it out. What's going to be the right move for the next, interesting thing that we do.
Okay. Well, you've done a few interesting things. For example, that show that you filmed live at the Basilica. I watched that. That's an amazing show, and the cameras that you guys use and how it gets from light to dark. Tell me about the experience about filming that um, performance in particular.
Yeah, I mean that came out of, the pandemic and lockdown and our feeling like, we were at that point, we hadn't fully finished recording our last album, The Shape of Everything. We were kind of very close to finishing that, and we were just feeling like we really wanted to do something. We wanted to perform these songs and get together. At that point we had been, this was like early 21 or 22, 21, 21. Yeah. So, we had all been separated for like a year because of the lockdown, and we, a good friend, Samia Zaidi, filmmaker who's uh, worked with for many years, and she's also done several of our videos. We had been talking about trying to maybe do something together, and Duncan, our old drummer, he was working at the Basilica Hudson, which is this amazing venue owned by Melissa Aufdermar from Hole. And I'd always been inspired by like these, classic concert films like Pink Floyd, like Live at Pompeii, like this kind of like playing in like sort of a majestic setting with no audience. And, that's one of my favorite concert films of all time. So we're like, well, maybe we can do our own version of that. And that became our performance at the Basilica. And we went up, we all got together, we all traveled in and met there, and worked on it for like 2 or 3 days. And we filmed those songs over the course of a day, so you can see the transition from day to night. And yeah, it was a really special kind of thing. Like, it kind of felt like for a long time we weren't sure entirely what to do with it, if we were going to release it. Even just the act of making it and doing it felt cathartic in and of itself.
Yeah, totally.
But we finally realized, yeah, this is the time to do it. We wanted to put it out before our new album came out, so we can kind of like put a bookend on that sort of chapter of the band, and and kind of in preparation for the new album coming out. So it felt like the right time, and we're really happy it's out in the world, and we're really proud of it. And yeah, we've gotten good response. So that's kind of how it all came together.
Yeah, no, it's I got to see it because it's online. It looks great. I like how it's so. So you guys didn't. It's not like a continuous shot. Then you took some break because it really does look like it's turning from night to day. It looks like it's a continuous.
Well, that's the thing. So we had to do, because it was just Samia with the camera, with one camera. We didn't have really the resources to have like multiple camera operators and things doing different angles. So we ran through every song like 2 or 3 times.
Yep.
So she could kind of go around and get different angles of everyone, and then we cut that all together for each song. So what you're seeing feels pretty much continuous, and we did everything in that order throughout the course of the day. But we played every song like 2 or 3 times. We filmed it, and we moved on to the next song, did that, and just went through. So the entire thing ended up taking like 12 hours or something like that, just because technical things that we had to tweak and dial in throughout the day. And it was also really cold in there. So
Really cold.
It look. Where exactly is the Basilica?
it's in Hudson, New York. So it's like upstate New York. Really
Yeah.
cool little town up there. Very cool little artsy community up there.
Yeah, no, but the finished product is great. I urge everyone who hasn't seen it to see it because it's great.
Thanks.
I
Thank you.
it a lot. The sounds, the mood, everything. To me, like it shows that you spend 12 hours doing that because it really shows. A lot of people don't know how much goes into that. Doing that. So yeah, a really great performance, and that's why I want to talk about it. So I know that for this record, I know Will, you recorded, you mixed, and you produced, correct?
Yep.
So, well, it sounds, everything sounds great. It's 8 tracks, and so the album's called "Let the Lighting," and I listened to the whole record, and I'm guessing there's like a theme, I think, in this record about light and darkness. So, Will, if you can, elaborate more. I don't think it's a concept record, but I think
No.
like a constant theme throughout it. So, if you can, talk to me a little bit about the themes that you cover on this record.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, the idea kind of started during the pandemic, of just like, so basically every morning I'd go in and wake up my daughter, and I'd open the blinds, and I'd have to like consciously tell myself, like, let the light in, let's try to have a good day. Because, those were dark times for everybody.
Yeah.
And it just kind of came this mantra that sort of started trickling out into my life, into my friendships, into writing music and all that. And yeah, just as the more we talked about the record and the more we kind of wrote songs and kind of polished everything and got things sorted, it just felt like a nice theme that could run throughout the whole album.
No, yeah. Well, I like that story about, especially I can relate. I have kids too, so
Mm.
like not being able to go out. You could go out sometimes, but like
It was tough.
isolation, at least letting some light in, because to fight some of that isolation that everyone was going through. One of my favorite tracks, I really like Chemicals. So tell me a little bit about what that song's about.
Uh, well, that's I don't know. I have to think about it more. That one I still haven't exactly figured out. That one just kind of came out.
Mhm.
And I feel like it's one of the darker moments on the record, which we wanted to have some of that as well. Like sort of the deal we kind of made internally was like, we can do the doomy heavy stuff, um, but there's always has to be at least one little flicker of light throughout, within every song. So even if it's just a guitar note or a vocal line or something like that. Um, yeah, so that's one of the darker ones that came from Joel and I just kind of messing around with some riffs. And then I think that when Mike added his lush layers, the last thing that was added was Justin's drum beats with all those cool tom accents. Um, so yeah, that one I'm really proud of. I feel like that one's kind of a special one on the album.
Yeah, there's a line I think that every time that you are near me, I get like chemicals.
Yeah, I blame chemicals. Yeah,
Yeah, I blame chemicals. I don't. I got Chino Moreno Deftones vibes.
yeah.
Listening to that one. So yeah, that's very
Maybe through Deftones kind of thing, like somewhere in that world.
yeah. But you guys have like some different elements to it as well. But like then you have like harder songs like Give Blood. I think that one has like a more like a menacing like a riffing to it. So tell me about the process for writing lyrics for you guys. How do you like what's your process? Do you do lyrics as a group? Do you like have a meeting and it's like, hey, this is what we want to talk about on this record?
I mean, it's organic. I write pretty much everything, and then if somebody's got a good tag or something that they want to add, I'm open to that sort of stuff. But usually, like the songs will start with a rough vocal melody where I just kind of have a general idea of the emotional direction I want to head with it. And then these guys add all their parts, and then from there I can kind of find space for lyrics and kind of, you know, engage in the bigger themes that we've talked about as a band.
Okay. So, but Will singing, do you let him know like what the mood is so you can like he can capture the essence of the lyrics?
I mean, I think at this point we've all been making music together in various capacities for so long, and even in our previous bands, that I think we have a pretty fluid sort of dynamic of the way we work together. That way, I feel like we don't. It's kind of nice because I feel like we intuitively seem to have a sense of what we're all kind of trying to go for and do, so that we don't actually like need to talk about a lot of that stuff very much. It all kind of just happens, which is pretty refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's that, and when you listen to the record, it really flows well together. So
Thank
it
you.
so it sounds, it's very cohesive. It almost sounds like it could be like a not one big song because every song has these similar things, but they really like, there's albums that are kind of clunky when you go to another song to another, and maybe like it doesn't make sense. But the sequencing on this record and the flow of this record, I think it's really good because everything flows perfectly from one song to the next.
Thank you so much. We worked a lot on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Something
guessing
we're very conscious of.
about your process with the sequencing.
Yeah, I mean, we think about that a lot, and we're always, maybe because we're old fashioned or we want to still think about things this way. Like when we're sequencing stuff, we're still thinking of things in the way you would think of like like a record, on vinyl or cassette, like side A and side B.
Yeah.
So we really put a lot of thought into like, making each half of the album feel kind of cohesive and satisfying, and taking you on like a little journey before you have to flip over to the next side. So even though like really there's probably like a very small percentage of people that are going to be listening to our album that way on vinyl or on cassette,
I saw
in
folks
that Yeah, yeah. Nice. All right. We still like to think of it that way. And even if you're just listening on, Spotify or wherever you're listening to your music, you know, hopefully people still have a sense of like being taken on a little bit of a journey and can kind of feel that, if they listen to it from beginning to end and are cognizant of like these sort of chapters of like side A and B, because that's very intentional on our part. And
Totally.
I don't want to give that up, even though I know that, it's kind of old fashioned and most people are just listening to single songs, randomly. It's kind of like for the people that are there and want to dig in and want to listen to things that way, I want to still make things for them to enjoy that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can, be conscious of singles for the digital age, but like I think it's a bigger and better challenge for us to continue to try to make records. Like how is side A going to end? Like sometimes we've gotten to that point where it's like we have a bunch of songs for an album, but we don't have a side A finishing song. So we'll go back and write a song specifically for that slot on the album. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah, I think on this one is it? I think the fourth song, if I'm because is it Nightmares?
No, it's what's the final
Right.
title?
Place That I Belong.
Place That I Belong.
Great track. And another thing, you have 8 tracks, which is very old school. Like albums like side A, side B. I'm old school as well, so I know a lot of like people and bands now. Like they focus on like that single, but I'm old school too. I prefer the whole album experience because what's great if you have a single that's good and the rest is shit. Like I would rather have like a very cohesive album. So yeah, like I enjoyed every track from the record, and I think there's already half the record is out. Like there's 4 songs that are out, but people, I think will be very like uh, in tune with the other 4 songs that are left that they will listen to when this comes out March 14th. Was there a song on this record that proved like maybe that gave you more of a challenge to write?
Well, we already talked about Chemicals, but I think the other one would be The Light. That was like it's the last song on the it's like that felt like a big swing for us, and it took a lot to kind of get that all balanced and feeling cohesive as far as like the sounds and the way it all kind of balances and comes together dynamically. I think that was a pretty big challenge.
Yeah, I mean that I changed a bit of my process with that. You know, the foundation had kind of been laid. Joel had written these really awesome parts, and I like when Will added his vocals. It was really awesome, and I loved like the final thing, that vocal melody that Will does at the end of that song. I thought was so strong that I wanted to kind of like find a way to like kind of introduce it earlier. So I kind of wrote this like little piano part at the beginning that echoes the vocal part at the end. Then I also realized like I'm like, what am I even going to add on guitar here? Like I don't know. I just had this idea to just like felt like adding a piano part seemed more interesting than trying to add another guitar, and that kind of became like the kind of intro and outro of the song. And yeah, I don't know. It was just kind of a cool challenge because sometimes, especially, it's a nice problem to have because when you get these awesome ideas from your bandmates and you realize like I can't make this any better. Like, what am I going to add to this? It kind of forces me to kind of be more creative and find ways to kind of work around what's already there, complement what's happening, and find ways to add to it in like positive ways without like making things feel too cluttered. So yeah, it's an ongoing challenge, and it's a fun one.
No, yeah, that's a great album, Closer. And so this album, it sometimes it feels sad and gloomy, but I feel there's a glimmer of hope, especially in that last track,
Mhm.
where I feel it's like after all's gone, still like the light is going to shine. That's what I got from it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was the idea, is to, every as dark as it gets, there still has to be that glimmer of hope throughout. And we wanted to end, there's a lot of heavy bands that make brutal, crushing music. We didn't want to do that. We wanted to do something that has that glimmer of hope in it. So we wanted to make sure we ended the album with that feeling coming, shining through.
Because goodness gracious, we all need a little bit of that right now.
Oh, oh yeah.
Yeah.
We do, but yeah, yeah, brutal music is fine, but I think I don't know. I love shoegaze and that type of music, and I think when it's like I like more emotional, like hitting music, like because it hit you emotionally. I think that's as strong as any blast beat or
Oh,
anything. When it hits you like emotionally, the tracks on the record. So yeah, so the tour's been going well. Any happenings on the tour that are worth mentioning, like or everything going smoothly?
it's been pretty good so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, not nothing to complain about.
Yeah, we're out with band Earthside. They're wonderful people. It's been good vibes
Yeah,
since day one. They've got a great crew, great people to be on the road with. So
shows have been fun consistently. We've gotten to play some places we haven't gotten to play yet. Or,
yeah,
it's our first time there. So yeah, it's been fun. It's been really good.
yeah, no complaints.
Headliners on this tour?
What's that?
Are you guys headlining on this tour?
No,
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 okay.
we're doing a few headlining shows in between the dates on the tour, some days off. So we are doing a few headliners, but the main chunk of the tour is Earthside.
Yep.
Okay. Well, at least I think it's less pressure
Sure.
for you.
Okay, opening.
Yeah, I mean, they reached out to us about doing the tour, and they were aware of us. They knew our band, and were really nice, and it just made a lot of sense. With the album coming out for us to go out and do it. So yeah, it's been
Yeah,
good.
promotion for the album. Are you gonna have like an album release show for the record?
This is it, this tour.
Yeah.
That's a great one. Yeah. So yeah, everyone's getting pumped for the record. Musically, because I've listened to your last records, I think this one, yeah, I know everyone says like, but this is the best sounding records are from you guys because I think I like the other one. I know I talked about it because when I started the channel, but I think this one feels I think it feels more cohesive, like in the, like in the flow or like the band already knows like what you guys want to do. Would you agree like with that?
Oh, 100%. We took a long time getting this one right, and I feel like it shows. Um, I'm proud of everything we've done, but this one definitely feels like we all had our heads in the game and, spent a lot of time getting the details right. And I feel like that shows, comes across.
Yeah, no, I would love to see you guys live because I'm thinking it would be great. I love that type of music. Like it's like gets you more like in a dream state of mind when you're listening to it. So yeah, the evolution of the band, I can hear from record to record. So for people who want to pre-order the record, where can they do so?
You can go to www.som.band. That's our website, and all the links are there to order from us because it'll send you to wherever you can. If you're in Europe, you want to go to like the labels European store. If you're in the US, you go to the Thousand Arms. But yeah, just go to our website, som.band. That'll get you to wherever you need to go.
Yeah, I'm guessing you're gonna have vinyl, CDs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if cassettes because that's like the new thing.
For this one, yeah, we've done cassettes of just about everything else we've done, and I think maybe we'll do like a limited cassette run at some point. But we're always still surprised that like a lot of people are still buying CDs, so it's wild. So we're still that's still a big thing, and I feel like CDs are coming back.
Feels like it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because vinyls are so damn expensive and you can't take them anywhere.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's it's. I want to thank you obviously for taking some time in the middle of your tour to find some time to chat with me. I know tour
Yeah.
more stressful. You're out of your element. You're on the road, but at least you're staying. It looks like a nice place where you're staying.
Got a nice Airbnb. It's great.
Yeah.
Just had some breakfast, feeling good.
Oh, awesome! Yeah. So yeah, it's just a week. The album's out. So Couchers, the album is out in a week. Let the Lighting by SOM. If you like doom, I would call it like doom gaze. I don't know, like doom with shoegaze. And I think the pop thing goes. I think it's because of the vocals that they say that they put that pop label in. But if you like doomier stuff, but with like that melody and that shoegaze elements, do not sleep on some. And if you're if you can catch them on the road, you can do so. So after the album is released, what are the next plans for the band?
We got a couple things pending. Nothing we can announce yet, but we're trying to go back to Europe at least once or twice this year, and hopefully at least one more US thing as well.
Yeah, awesome. Before I let you guys go, so you can keep enjoying your day off in Orlando. So if you in Orlando, I know a lot of Orlando because my family has a house there. There's some cookies that are really good. I think they're called Gideons. So if you have Gideons, I think, but they have some. They have two stores. One is in the downtown Disney, but there's another one that's not in Disney. You should go to the one that's not in Disney. Like some stuff like cookies. If you like cookies, I would recommend them.
Sure, we'll keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. So before I let you guys go, anything that you like to say to the fans?
No, just thank you. Thing I've been saying is, if you like our music and you listen and it connects with you, say hi. Come reach out to us, whether it's at a show, come up to the merch table, say hello, or leave us a comment or write us a message on social media or YouTube, wherever. It really means a lot, and that's kind of the thing that keeps us going is getting to meet people and knowing how our music connects with people and having that sort of sense of community. So yeah. So that's kind of it. Just say hello. Tell us if you like it. Tell us if you don't like it. Whatever.
Yep, totally.
But yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for having us.
That's how I reach you guys. I send you. I send them a message.
Exactly.
Yeah. Sometimes it's easier than going through all the PR stuff. But yeah. So yeah. Again, thank you for taking time, and I really enjoyed the record. So I plan to review it closer to release date. So Couchers song let the Lighting out March 14th. So until next time, Couchers, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on a Couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you. And
Thanks,